Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner. You know about this series already. If you've been with us, if you haven't, where have you been? But don't worry, we've got a great treat for you today. So thanks for joining us. You know what these sessions are about. They are short, sharp sessions where we focus on one element where we can improve our running. And today's element is all about recovery and what we can do and the insights, the experience we get from Coach Mark. So Coach Mark, welcoming you back again, joining us on this video. Thank you, mate.
Hey, thanks, Darcy.
Too easy. It is too easy. So today we're focusing on recovery. Coach Mark, I've got a couple of quick fire questions for you about massage guns and ice baths and all that, but I'm going to hold that to the end because you've given me a bit of an insight of some things you want to talk about in terms of recovery. And I want to hear that first because, look, the last thing I'll say before I hand it over to you, Coach Mark, is I think we completely underestimate the power of recovery and how it helps our running. And I think when I was younger, recovery was just something I wasn't interested on recovery. I was interested in supplements and building strength and power and muscle. And the irony is it's the recovery part that does those things, not what I was doing in the gym or on the track, busting down the muscle. But you don't think of that. Recovery is so powerful. So Coach Mark, tell us what we need to be thinking about when we think recovery and why it's so important. Start wherever you like. All ears. Over to you, Coach Mark.
Well, recovery does, but as you say, it's one of the most important sessions of the week. I know some people actually, they're very, very good on the recovery and they're not so good on the hard runs. So that's another matter. So you have to the caveat to this is you have to put in the hard runs as well to improve. But the recoveries are so important because the hard runs are where you make the gains, etc. in your training. But then your body has to actually recover from this, adapt, and come back stronger. That's effectively what training is. You overload it in a certain way, and the body's forced to adapt. But it can only adapt when we're recovering. Otherwise, you're just basically throwing things at it all the time, and it'll eventually break down. So having key recovery days within your program, vitally important, physically and mentally.
So how many days a week?
So what I do, I include things in the runners that I train. I throw in easy days amongst the hard days. And they can include complete rests. They can include easy runs. They can include cross training. And particularly with cross training, I try and get people doing things where they're not stressing the calves quite as much because they're the muscles really that get the hammering in terms of running.
Right.
So if you're going to do something other than running, it would make sense to do something where your calves aren't working as much. Otherwise, you might as well really go for an easy run, to be honest.
So could you still use the legs? Give us a couple of examples.
Yeah, all right.
Comes to mind is like the aqua jogging. I've never tried that, but it's on my list of things to try. But is that the sort of thing? What sort of, give us maybe 2 or 3 things that we could just do that would take it easy on our calves?
Sure. Yeah. Aqua jogging is definitely one. Okay. If you can handle the mental boredom of that, but that's an effective one. Cycling's a classic one. So you're using the legs, but you're not jarring the calves because it's non-weight bearing. Rowing, another one. Swimming. They're the key ones. So you're certainly working the body and definitely working the heart and lungs. As I've said before, your heart and lungs don't know what exercise you're doing. They just know that working harder for a certain period of time. But what happens there, your calves get a bit of a rest, and then you come back strong the next day, and you're less likely to get injured. That's the thing there. Yeah. Okay. So the thing with cross training, there's no magical best form of cross training. I don't think it's really what you enjoy doing.
No. But when you talk about swimming and aqua jogging and potentially with it and rowing and things like that, because because they're so balanced across the body and they don't have the same impact on the calves, can you still quite work hard on the row machine or going for a swim? Can you make it quite aerobically taxing? And that's okay in terms of, it still takes the stress off.
Yeah, yes, you can make it. Yes, that's right. You can make it more aerobically taxing as long as you're bearing in mind, because every session you do should have a purpose, and you should approach that session and go, what's the purpose of this? So if the purpose is a recovery day, you don't want to cut. So for example, jumping into a spin class on a recovery day might not be the best thing unless you've got a lot of discipline within that. For example, where you come out of that just as knackered as you would be, after a hard training session. So you haven't got the benefit of a recovery day.
Okay.
And what I often also tell people is things like, so if you're on a rower or a bike, or even swimming, actually, focus on turnover with lower resistance. So it's not a strength session as such. It's just turning the legs over, turning the arms over session.
So when I hear the term active recovery, is that sort of what you're describing there? Where you're doing something physically, but you're not taxing anything. You're just sort of not going through the motions, but something like that to just get that flow. Okay.
That's right. And active recovery can often be more effective than doing nothing. In fact, it generally is, because you're getting blood flushing around your body, getting oxygen to all the parts, flushing out all the bad stuff. So that's active recovery is generally better than doing absolutely nothing. Active recovery can also include just going for a walk as well.
Yeah, walking's really underrated.
It all depends how you're feeling. Yeah.
Okay, now I've got those short, sharp questions I want to ask you, but not just yet. There's one other thing I think I'd love you to talk to, and it's something I've recognized in my program that you build for me. And that is, I think there's like 3 weeks on, or 3 weeks of like a build, and the fourth week is always quite easy, because I look at the kilometers and I go, man, it's only 60 or 65 or 70 this week. And Mark had me doing 90 last week. So there's something in that. Mark, the 4th week recovery.
Yeah, I've found that very effective in my own training and other people I've trained. It does 2 things. It prevents injury, I've found, because you're having an easier week under control rather than being forced to have an easy week because you're just overstressed. The body overstressed. You also gain that momentum because, as you say, every week leading up to that builds up. So you get more and more and more, and then you have a down week. And often in that down week, I'll schedule a time trial or a race at the end of it as well. So you also gain the benefit of tapering for that. So you can look at it, you're training 3 weeks and you make use of that training to almost like a little exam. How's it going? How's my training going? Because I've done all the training now, I've recovered a little bit, see what's the result of this. Okay, I've learned a bit for the next block. Next block, you'll start a little bit higher up than you did the first block, you see, so then you build up again. So the whole way through, you're building, and then recovering. So it's generally every 4th week, not always. The beauty of that as well is it can be flexible, because often people have holidays, they might feel a bit ill or have a niggle or whatever. Work might be getting on top of that particular week. You can play it a bit like a joker. Say, okay, well, we'll make that your easy week. So then you're still on schedule. Otherwise people think, oh, my whole schedule's gone.
Nice.
Still on schedule. That's your easy week. All going well, you come back strong again the next week. Build again. Found it very effective. And the thing is, I know it when you first start doing that, it plays with your mind, because you go, I've been building up the Ks, and now I'm hardly doing anything. But the way I look at it, I look at the 3 weeks of training and think, what are the Ks and all the training in that, and then the 4th week, I almost don't even look at it. I just think this is a recovery week, and I do what I need to do, and then look at the next 3 weeks, and gets my head around it.
Perfect. All right, let me ask you some short, sharp questions, and you can only give me 1 word and 1 sentence as an answer.
Okay.
And the word might be absolutely, like absolutely helps, or maybe, or it depends, and then a really short explanation. Here we go. 3 things I'm going to throw at you really quickly. Firstly, ice baths. Do ice baths work, or are they a bit of a myth?
They work.
They work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. Cold water rinses on your legs. So hot, you've done the run, hot shower, and then you finish the last minute of the shower with the head on full cold over your legs.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've done that many years. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'm doing it now, and I wanted to know if I'm wasting my time, because it takes a while to get used to. And the last one, massage guns.
I would say absolutely. Massage certainly works. So I'd say massage guns work. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Massage guns going. Okay, team,
Yeah.
well, you did it. Look, if you're doing ice baths, keep them going. If you're doing cold water rinses on your legs, keep them going. Massage guns, keep them going. But think about definitely your recovery, which is either a full day off, easier weeks, or active recovery in other sports, other pursuits, and especially those that take pressure off your calves. Coach Mark,
Excellent.
is that in a nutshell?
Yeah, if I just say one thing. So all.
Okay, team, this might seem like a bit of an interruption to the video, because it is. Our call dropped out just as you, Coach Mark, were just making some final comments. So we just finished talking about the ice baths, the cold water rinse, and the use of the massage gun. So sorry, this feels a bit disjointed, but Coach Mark, you had some final words that you're going to impart on us. So I'll hand back to you, Coach Mark. There was something that you wanted us to consider, and I think it was all those components and how they all work together. I don't know. No one can word it better than you. So Coach Mark, the final message is, word is with you, and we've got all the time in the world, mate, with you.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, in terms of recovery, all those three things are good by themselves, but they need to be incorporated within a recovery plan that you have, which starts immediately after the race with a cool down, rehydration, fueling, and then you can do these other things. They all have in common, they return your body to a normal state, which is what you want to do, and that's going to help you physically and mentally.
So we've got to have real intention about our recovery. It's not an ad hoc thing and doing one thing here and one thing there, like booking a massage maybe once a month. It starts, let me check in with you and tell me if I've got this wrong, but it starts the moment you finish running?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that resonates with me, because I know if I finish a run and I don't stretch, then I pay for it anything up to an hour later onwards, because, okay, so, all right, that's perfect. So once you've finished running, have a real deliberate recovery plan, which starts with stretching. And Coach Mark, what were some of those other components? They were nutrition.
Well, you want to do a cool down jog, or
a cool down jog. Okay, how long?
Yep. You want to, if it's cold, put on warm clothes. Okay. You want to hydrate. Yep. You want to have some carbs and protein, within the first hour, so that you're refueling and helping your muscles repair.
Electrolytes.
Yep, electrolytes, definitely. Okay. Yep. It's really what you do in that first hour. Is crucial, to be honest. This is important as you warm up. Just as you do a warm up leading up to the race, you should do a cool down, and recovery plan.
How long's your cool down run? Because in my mind, I've got usually about 2 kilometers as a minimum for me. Is that what we should be thinking? Because I've seen people do cool down runs and it's only about 200 meters, and I think that can't be long enough. So what do you think is the right sort of distance?
Yeah, there's no real exact sort of minimum. 200 meters would be too short, I agree. And Arthur Lydiard always used to say, if you can go for a massive cool down run, you probably haven't raced hard enough. So somewhere, 2K sounds good. Sometimes I've been so stuffed just walking around, but something is, what you don't want to do is just lie down or sit down, So even if you did a jog and then walked around a bit, that's going to be useful. It's really just returning your body, so you're not going from pure action to just sitting or lying. You kind of gradually introduce the body back to a resting state, and you're going to be better for
it. Perfect. Coach Mark, thank you so much. Thanks for those tips on recovery. Team, you know the story. If you want to keep in the loop with this information, just hit subscribe. Coach Mark, I don't think we're going to hit 5 million views or anything like that. I saw someone on a YouTube video just before you jumped on where someone got like an Air Jordan and some roller skates and took the roller skates and stuck them on the Air Jordan. 5 million views, but I can understand why it was entertaining. But this is information-rich stuff. So thank you so much for coming along and sharing the information that helps us be better runners. And in our last 2 videos, helps us stay injury-free and recover properly for our next session. So thanks very much, Coach Mark.
My pleasure.
All right, team. Take care. Enjoy your running. And we'll catch up with you in the next one. See you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.